the real reason why GM just shut down pickup production. Many were caught off guard by GM's decision to temporarily halt production of its pickup trucks. It is not uncommon for automakers to control dealer inventories, but some people have speculated that GM is doing this to maintain low inventories and increase profits. However, the truth behind GM's decision could be far more complex than that. In this video, we'll dive into the real reason behind suspending the operations and what it means for GM and the auto industry as a whole. Before we talk about the current scenario, you need to know that this is not the first time that General Motors or GM has halted pickup truck production. In early 2021, General Motors announced that they would temporarily shut down production at several of their North American factories due to a global shortage of semiconductor chips, which are critical components in many modern vehicles. This shortage was caused by a combination of factors, including disruptions to supply chains caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and increased demand for electronic devices. One of the affected factories was the Fort Wayne assembly plant in Indiana and the assembly plant in Silao, Mexico, which produces popular pickup trucks such as the Chevrolet Silverado and GMC Sierra. The shutdown lasted for several weeks, and the number of vehicles GM was able to produce and sell dropped significantly. The chip shortage has had a major impact on the global automotive industry, with many other manufacturers also forced to reduce or halt the production of certain models. The situation continued to affect the automotive industry for some time, and it was estimated that this chip shortage cost the vehicle industry a whopping $110 billion. The global economy faced supply shortages for almost 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This caused an increase in the cost of goods. The auto industry was hit hard and struggled to get vital components due to problems in the semiconductor supply chain. As a result, automakers had to make incomplete vehicles or stop production. After 3 years since the pandemic began, signs suggest that the supply issues are easing. But even during the shortage of chips, the CEO of GM, Barra, was very confident about the performance of the company, and she declared, "The semiconductor shortage won't slow our growth plans, and with mitigation strategies, we still expect a very good year for General Motors." So what has happened now? Why has GM taken this step when the semiconductor chip shortage problem is improving? The answer is very simple. General Motors now faces a different problem: not enough buyers. But how did this happen? Pickup trucks were one of the best sellers in the US in 2022. Before we discuss that, make sure to give the video a like if you think that the video is interesting. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss more amazing videos like this one. According to GM spokesman Dan Flores, the automaker is closing the Fort Wayne plant because it has an excess of trucks. He stated in his email, "Fort Wayne is taking 2 weeks of downtime in late March, early April. The Fort Wayne downtime is being taken to optimize inventory levels." The company announced that the pause in production is scheduled to begin on 27th of March. Truck inventories at GM dealerships are starting to increase as demand decreases. This is surprising to many since just a year ago pickup trucks were like kings in the vehicle market and selling at prices above MSRP, but the situation has changed quite a bit. As a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, consumer demand for products surged during the government lockdowns. However, this situation has abruptly changed because of rising interest rates, inflation, and the realization that many people are no longer willing to spend a lot of money on things that are not necessary. As a result, the talk about 2023 being a good year for the auto market is becoming less believable. While this does not mean the end of the world, it does suggest that shoppers' ability to borrow money has decreased, and people have less disposable income than they did just a year ago, which could mean challenging times ahead for automakers. Before you start thinking that this is only a problem with GM, let me tell you that inventory data from Cox Automotive confirms that not only GM but also Ford and Ram are facing difficulties as truck inventories start to pile up. Despite various efforts to keep dealer inventories lower than in 2019, this market downturn is disrupting the plans of automakers, and those who can afford to purchase a new truck in the coming months will be more careful about their expenditures. Data from Cox Automotive shows that 100 days worth of stock of Chevy Silverado pickup trucks is sitting at GM dealerships due to a slower selling season. The same goes for Ram half-ton and heavy-duty pickups, which are also over 100 days in supply. Ford has 92 days worth of F-150 trucks in the inventory. Earlier, GM's Chief Technical Officer Paul Jacobson said that they plan to maintain 50 to 60 days worth of inventory in 2023, which is about 30 days less than pre-pandemic levels. Jacobson believes that current demand does not require the same production levels as before. Dan Flores also added in his recent email, GM truck assembly plant in Silao, Mexico was down last week, and this week due to a temporary part shortage. They are expected to restart next week. Oshawa and Flint are running regular production schedules. No planned downtime for those two plants. But Rich Letourneau has something else to say. Letourneau is a top union official at General Motors truck plant outside Fort Wayne, and he says that the Silao plant also stopped working for a week in February, and it might also halt the production of pickup trucks in the future because the truck sales usually decrease during May, June, July, and August. In a recent newsletter from Local 2209, Letourneau said that due to the government raising interest rates, it will be difficult for most Americans to afford GM trucks. He doesn't think that many people can pay $1,500 to $2,000 each month for their trucks. Letourneau added, "The dealerships across the country that had been contacting me looking for more trucks are now contacting me looking for more customers to buy what's on their lots. Although rumors were floating around pertaining to supply chain downtime, I don't believe anyone anticipated the lots would fill up this fast." Other than GM stopping the production of pickup trucks, Ford also announced that it was halting the production of its electric vehicles. Ford has had some quality control problems over the past year, and its F-150 Lightning pickup also had some issues. There was a fire at a holding lot near the Rouge Electric Vehicle Center in Michigan on the 16th of February, and it affected a pre-delivery Lightning model and another truck. Ford has not shared any information about what caused the fire, but it claims that the problem has been identified, and there have been no complaints from customers. Ford spokeswoman Emma Berg said in the statement, "By the end of next week, we expect to conclude our investigation and apply what we learned to the truck's battery production processes. This could take a few weeks." As a result of the fire, production of the electric pickup had to stop for at least a week. However, Ford has said that its battery supplier has started producing cells again, and that production will slowly return to normal. Before you get scared and start thinking that EVs cause fires, it's important to note that data from the National Transportation Safety Board and insurance claims reveal that electric cars only cause 25 fires per 100,000 sales, compared to 1,530 fires per 100,000 for gas-powered cars. However, it is true that fires from electric cars can be harder to put out due to the high temperature of the batteries. In the end, these pauses are only for a short time, and the production of trucks will resume in Michigan and Indiana. However, these shutdowns are an indication that the auto industry is still going through a difficult period. When an automaker has more than enough stock, it mostly decides to offer discounts to increase sales, but things have changed now. Companies are now aiming to maintain stock only for 50 to 60 days, and GM's decision to stop the production shows that it does not have any intentions of selling its pickup trucks at a discount. Do you agree? And do you think that people will start buying expensive GM vehicles after some time? Let me know in the comments. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet, so that you don't miss out on our future videos. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet, so that you don't miss out on our future videos.